Think on good.
Hello and welcome to Think On Good. Coming up, we check in on the essentials for managing a crisis. In this program, we share inspirational stories and learn how to build a healthy mind through treatments and resources. Today, we explore something relevant to all of us, how to be resilient in a crisis. Joining me is Dr. Manju Rajaratnam, a medical doctor who helps people manage not just physical health, but emotional and spiritual well-being, especially during life's toughest seasons. Welcome, Dr. Manju.
Hi, it's lovely to join you all at last after all these years.
You have spent time in helping others build resilience in crisis. How did you get into this?
I've always been stuck how people who even seem to have everything, great careers, great life, can crumble during personal crisis. And this made me realize that crisis management and conflict resolution is just as important as treating physical illness. That's what made me sort of get involved in this in the first place, yeah.
Yes. And so you would see a lot of people over the years present with these complex problems?
Yes, that's right. Though they don't directly, even if they don't come directly with those saying they have a crisis, they might have come symptoms that sort of lead me to think there may be an underlying crisis that they're dealing with, yes.
So what's the science behind this when we look at the body and the brain? How does this work?
What happens is when we go through crisis or when we remember painful moments, whether it is an abuse, or a hurtful comment or a scary diagnosis, our mind perceives those thoughts as a threat. And that triggers emotional alarm system called the amygdala. You find that we get into a fight or flight mode. And then that sort of pumps the stress chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol into our body. And then suddenly you find yourself, your heart racing, your palms are getting sweaty, and you feel literally like running away or ready to fight. The problem is, in the short term, it's okay, we recover from it. But if the crisis drags on, or we keep mentally replaying these negative thoughts, we will get stuck in this survival mode. This changes our body's chemistry. What happens is that stress chemicals will constantly stay high. At the same time, our natural happy chemicals like serotonin, dopamine, they drops to the all-time low. This changes the chemistry and this change in chemistry actually changes our mind and our body. So we feel exhausted, we feel tired, we feel anxious, depressed. Our heart is overworking now, our digestion is slowing down, our immune system is also weakened. And this sort of leads to a lot of mental illness and physical illness as well. The most important part that we don't realize is the more we think about these thoughts repeatedly, our brain also will start to rewire itself. This is what happens. And then literally our body and our brain structurally starts to change.
How do we stop those thoughts, though, if we've experienced a crisis or in a crisis? What would you say to those watching and listening, how to actually stop those thoughts from happening?
To understand, it's a complex issue because there's a lot of deeper issue that's going on. So to understand, to help us look at how, if you look at our grandparents or our ancestors, for example, how they handle life, they actually face deep loss, rejections, and even poverty. Yet somehow or other they remain resilient. They didn't crumble emotionally the way most of us do struggle today. So do you know one thing that a grandparents had, something that we are missing today? Is our grandparents actually had close families and tight-knit communities and a deep connection to faith as well. And this gave them a deep sense of belonging, an identity, a significance, a purpose. And that sort of nourished their mind and built resilience to withstand life's storm. So the problem today is we don't do relationships well, as you know, as well as our ancestors did. And also we drifted away from faith as well. So this loss of sense of belonging has become the issue. This generation has become the loneliest generation in history. So to build resilience, first we have to restore this and have a deep, true sense of belonging.
How do you build the resilience before a crisis so that you're going to be a little bit stronger when you are in the middle of it?
Right. So, like as I said, so we have to have a system where we integrate faith and have the connection back. So, for that sort of, what I've developed is a simple sort of a holistic framework in 5 steps. So I call it the 5 A's because each step starts with an A, just to remember easily as well. The first step is anchor. So basically it's reconnecting to the greater power, which will give us security and a sense of community as well. So this also shifts us from fear and loneliness and to trust and significance as well, and a greater sense of belonging we'll get. This itself will nourish our mind and rewire our brain as well. And also we will start literally growing good trees in our mental garden and flourish and bear good fruits as well. So the anchoring is a very important step to connect back what we've lost. The second A is awareness. This means recognizing your negative thought patterns and then challenging and reshaping them into thoughts that align with your values and true identity. So awareness is the second one. The third one is the acceptance. So this means accepting pain, loss, and betrayals are part of life. And the people are going to hurt us, but rather than reacting in anger and bitterness, we make a conscious decision to respond with kindness and patience and forgiveness as well, which is very hard to do in reality. But we do it not because the other person deserves it, but because we deserve peace. Don't want to be stuck in anger or bitterness, right? So that's the only way we can not drink this poison of bitterness sort of thing. The fourth A is appreciation. So this is basically shifting our focus from what's missing to what we already have. And practices like keeping a gratitude journal, writing a thank you note, or a simple expression of appreciation to someone. That's sort of, though it sounds very simple, small and simple, it's very powerful. It impacts your mind and our relationships, plus the other person who's receiving as well. They feel good and their relationships improves with us as well. The fifth A is the amend, which is amending relationships. Basically in a disagreement or in an argument, what we feel is we are 90% right and only maybe about 10% wrong. But unfortunately, the other person thinks the same. They think they are 90% right and maybe only 10% wrong. So we thought we standing and trying to sort of prove ourselves right, because nobody's going to win this discussion. It is main thing is to mend the relationship than trying to prove yourself right. So it is basically humbly apologizing for your 10% of a mistake you think you're wrong, and letting go and making your relationship improve. This not only will calm your brain, but also it improves your relationship as well. So these are the 5 A's, just not theories, as you know. They are actually backed by neuroscience and widely used in evidence-based therapies as well, including, as you know, the 12-step model of Alcoholics Anonymous. Yes.
So that's good that you have those 5 steps. But if someone can't make amends for someone that they want forgiveness or the other way around, and they've passed on or they're not able to contact them, do you recommend journaling that still or writing that letter, or how does someone?
Yeah, because for different people, it helps differently. Journaling is definitely a good thing, because when you're journaling, you are thinking, you're processing, and you're writing it down. Yes, that is the good step as well. Yes, if you can't speak because they are not with you anymore, or still is the process of healing is journaling and trying to sort of write what you think. Yes.
Yeah. Can you give an example of where someone's demonstrated forgiveness?
So when I think true resilience or true forgiveness, the Abdullah family comes to mind. I don't know whether you remember this, the 3 kids, they lost 3 kids while they were just tragically was killed by a drunk driver while they were just walking to get some ice cream. But what happened there, how they responded was amazing. Instead of allowing the crisis to define them, they chose a different path. They were anchored into something much greater, God and faith, and that had planted good trees in their mental garden, and they had good fruits as well. And that sort of made them respond from a place of wholeness and with love and humility and forgiveness. Yes. So they were amazingly, after a couple of days of the tragedy, they publicly forgave the driver. So this made them stand strong in absolute tragedy and be resilient and not crumble.
Can you also share with us briefly some examples or resources that you know of that can help people build resilience to be prepared for crisis?
There's a good resource on a website called the Center for Clinical Intervention. It's a free evidence-based resource and workbooks online. So that hopefully, it's called the Center for Clinical Intervention, and it's a free website, as I said. And then you can go into resources there and looking after yourself, and that has got all the different categories that you can click on and get some information as to what that it is and how you recover from that. And there are also an app, especially when you are in a crisis and when your heart is racing and you can't unable to think, you are in the stress mode. You need calming tools. For that, there's an app called Virtual Hope Box, which I often recommend to my patients, and they found it very useful. It's got sites, apps. You can put on affirmation words, and you can also put some photos, videos, and also it's got a meditation and relaxation and deep breathing exercises as well. So it'll take you through those processes, yes.
Briefly, Dr. Manju, before you go, what's your favourite quote or saying?
I think in this context, what I would say is, you are what you think. Basically, because what you think is going to define you, as we discussed now. And it also echoes the Philippians 4:8, the Bible verse. It says, fix your thought on what is true, honorable, right, pure, lovely, and admirable. Because this is what's going to sustain you in crisis and also to be a better person.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Dr. Manju.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
When we are faced with a crisis, there is a chemical reaction in our bodies that equips us to act, known as fight or flight mode. This is needed to act in an emergency. However, it is important we do not stay in the fight or flight mode. Prolonged thinking on a stress episode causes changes to our brain and body, leading to depletion in the necessary feel-good chemicals like dopamine. While this is complex, one way to calm and rebalance in these times is to build resilience and emotional fitness, drawing on strong foundations of close connections. This is an overview of Dr. Manju's 5A therapy framework for reference. Anchor by faith in God or greater power. Awareness by recognizing negative thought patterns and decide to change thoughts to align with your values and true identity. Acceptance by understanding pain, loss and betrayal are all a part of life. Instead of reacting in anger or bitterness, make the choice to forgive. Appreciation by focusing on what you have. Write out or think about the good things in your day. Write a note of thanks to someone you know. This impacts your thinking and helps others as well. Amend. Where possible, mend relationships. Humble yourself where needed with apology and accept disagreements will occur. Letting go of disagreements calms your brain and improves relationships. Dr. Manju draws this 5A framework from evidence-based therapies and includes elements of the Alcoholics Anonymous 12-step model. These are some resources for you to support a healthy mind. Go to the Centre for Clinical Intervention website and the app Virtual Hope Box. Think On Good is a program offering information for mind health and is not intended to replace medical treatment, professional advice or diagnosis. If you or someone you know is experiencing mental health symptoms, for immediate support, contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. Think On Good would like to thank our contributors and sponsors. Until next time, we hope you have a good day.